In this video, we're digging up 13 incredible vegetables that have nearly vanished from our plates. Number 1. Scarlet runner beans. Remember those vibrant red flowers climbing up your grandma's fence? Well, they weren't just there to look pretty. Scarlet runner beans were the secret stars of many gardens back in the day. These beauties were like getting 2 treats for the price of 1. Stunning flowers and delicious food all in one plant. But here's the real kicker. These beans aren't your average green beans from the grocery store. They've got a rich, meaty flavor that'll make you wonder why we ever settled for the bland stuff. And talk about a growth spurt. These climbers can shoot up to 10 feet tall, perfect for creating a natural privacy screen that's both beautiful and edible. Number 2. Golden bantam corn. Ever wonder why the corn you buy today just doesn't taste like it used to? Well, folks, let us introduce you to golden bantam corn, the forgotten superstar of the corn world. This little gem was the gold standard of sweet corn back in the day, and for good reason. Now, don't let its size fool you. Golden bantam might have been smaller than the behemoths you see in stores today, but what it lacked in size, it more than made up for in flavor. We're talking about a rich, creamy taste that would make modern hybrids hang their tassels in shame. It wasn't just sweet. It had a natural, complex flavor that made every bite a little adventure for your taste buds. Number 3. Rhubarb. Remember those vibrant pink stalks in Grandma's garden? They weren't just for show. Rhubarb was hiding some pretty incredible secrets. This tart veggie was once a springtime superstar, and for good reason. Our grandparents knew rhubarb wasn't just pie filling, it was medicine in disguise. Back in the day, folks used rhubarb to tackle all sorts of health issues. Got tummy troubles or a pesky fever? Rhubarb to the rescue. But here's the really cool part. This wonder plant isn't just about fixing what ails you, it's a flavor powerhouse too. Number 4. Hubbard squash. From tangy rhubarb, we're about to time travel to a squash that's built like a tank. Ever seen a vegetable so tough it could outlast your grandma's fruitcake? Meet the Hubbard squash, the unsung hero of root sellers everywhere. This massive veggie was the secret weapon of winter survival back when freezers were just a sci-fi dream. Picture this, a squash so big and sturdy, it could feed your whole family for days on end. That's the Hubbard for you. Its thick, armored skin wasn't just for show. It kept this bad boy fresh for months without needing a fancy fridge. Talk about a meal prep champion. Number 5. Red Russian kale. Now, you might think kale is just another health food trend, right? Wrong. Your grandparents were way ahead of the curve with a variety that's been unjustly forgotten. Ever heard of red Russian kale? This frost-kissed wonder was a staple in old-time gardens. And for good reason. Unlike those tough, chewy leaves you have to massage into submission, red Russian kale is a whole different ballgame. Its tender, flat leaves are perfect for salads straight from the garden. No arm workout required. And here's the kicker. This veggie actually gets sweeter when Jack Frost comes knocking. Talk about a plant that laughs in the face of winter. Number 6. Cylindra beet. From winter-hardy kale to space-saving beets, our grandparents sure knew how to maximize their gardens. But have you ever seen a beet shaped like a carrot? Get ready, because the Cylindra beet is about to revolutionize your small garden. These long, slim beets were a favorite in old-time gardens, and for good reason. Unlike their round cousins, Cylindra beets are perfect for tiny spaces and container gardens. They grow up instead of out, making them ideal for urban gardeners or anyone with limited space. But that's not all. These unique veggies were prized for their sweet, earthy flavor that's often described as less dirty tasting than modern beets. Number 7. Dragon carrot. Hey, carrot lovers, remember how we talked about those tangy beets Grandma used to grow? Well, hold on to your garden gloves because we're about to introduce you to a veggie that'll make those beets look positively boring. Enter the dragon carrot, a purple powerhouse that's about to set your taste buds on fire. Picture this. You're strolling through Grandma's garden and suddenly you spot what looks like a carrot straight out of a fantasy novel. That's right, folks. Dragon carrots aren't your average orange root. These beauties sport a deep purple exterior that'll make you do a double take. But here's the kicker. Slice one open, and you'll find a bright orange core hiding inside. Talk about a veggie with a secret identity. Now, you might be thinking, sure, they look cool, but do they taste any good? Well, let me tell you, these carrots aren't just a pretty face. They've got a spicy, sweet flavor that'll make your regular carrots green with envy. And get this, they're perfect for munching on raw. Imagine the looks on your friends' faces when you whip out a platter of these purple beauties at your next backyard barbecue. Number 8. Snowball cauliflower. Ever wondered why your cauliflower never looks as pristine as the ones in fancy restaurants? Well, folks, let me introduce you to the snowball cauliflower, the veggie that puts the snow in snowball fight. This forgotten gem has been around since the late 1800s, and it's about to make your garden game a whole lot easier. Remember how tricky it was to get those perfect white heads? Grandma had a secret up her sleeve. The snowball cauliflower naturally forms tight, white heads without any extra fuss. No more complicated blanching techniques. This bad boy does all the work for you. And get this, it matures in just 60 to 70 days. That's perfect for those of us with shorter growing seasons or just a bit of impatience. Number 9, fish pepper. Ever heard of a pepper that's like a mood ring for your garden? The fish pepper isn't just a spice. It's a time capsule of flavor with a kaleidoscope of colors. This chameleon of the veggie world has been hiding in plain sight since the late 1800s, and it's high time we spilled the beans on this secret seasoning. Picture this, a pepper that starts off as white as a ghost, then turns green like a jealous boyfriend, before blushing orange and finally ripening to a fiery red. But that's not all. These little flavor bombs were the secret weapon of African-American gardeners along the East Coast. They kept these peppers under wraps, using them to add a kick to their seafood dishes that had everyone wondering, what's your secret? Number 10. Mammoth melting. Remember those puny snow peas from the grocery store? Well, your grandparents would have chuckled at their size. Let's talk about the mammoth melting snow pea, the gentle giant of the garden that's about to make your stir-fry pan feel inadequate. These bad boys were a staple in old-time gardens, and for good reason. We're talking pods that can grow up to 5 inches long. But don't let their size fool you. These peas are as sweet and tender as they come, even when they're huge. It's like nature decided to supersize your veggies without sacrificing flavor. Number 11. Perkins long pod. Ever wondered why your grandma's okra never turned into the slimy mess you've come to expect? The secret might just lie in a forgotten variety that's begging for a comeback. Enter Perkins long pod okra, the southern belle of the garden that's about to change everything you thought you knew about this misunderstood vegetable. This classic heirloom variety has been a staple in southern gardens for generations, and for good reason. Perkins long pod okra is like that friend who thrives in the sweltering heat of summer, making it a go-to for gardeners in the South. But here's the kicker. It stays tender even when the pods grow long, giving you more bang for your buck and less of that infamous okra slime. Number 12. Straight 8 cucumber. Remember those perfectly straight dark green cucumbers in Grandpa's garden? They weren't just for show. These forgotten veggies, known as straight 8 cucumbers, hold the key to elevating your pickling game, and you won't believe how easy they are to grow. Straight 8s were bred with a specific purpose in mind, to create the perfect pickling cucumber. Their uniform shape and size make them a dream for slicing and packing into jars. But that's not all. These cukes have a crisp texture and mild flavor that's just as delicious fresh off the vine as it is pickled. Number 13. Red Weathersfield onion. Speaking of preserving summer's bounty, what if we told you there's an onion that can outlast your pickles? Meet the Red Weathersfield, the storage champion that kept our grandparents' pantries flavorful through the long winter months. These beauties were all the rage back in the 1800s, and for good reason. Imagine slicing into an onion in February that's just as fresh as the day you harvested it. That's the magic of Red Weathersfields. These tough little guys can hang around for up to a year without sprouting, making them the ultimate secret weapon for year-round cooking. As they mature, they develop a striking, deep red, almost purple skin that's sure to catch your eye. But it's not just about looks. These onions pack a flavor punch that'll knock your socks off. They're described as rich and slightly sweet, perfect for jazzing up soups and stews during those chilly winter nights. And talk about hardy. Red Weathersfields laugh in the face of tough growing conditions, making them a dream come true for gardeners in all sorts of climates. Ready to turn your garden into a living time capsule? These 13 forgotten vegetables aren't just a blast from the past. They're your ticket to a tastier, healthier future. By bringing these old-school varieties back to life, we're not just growing food. We're keeping a piece of history alive and kicking. But here's the real kicker. These veggies are like nature's secret weapon against climate change. By growing a diverse mix of plants, we're helping to keep our food supply strong and ready for whatever Mother Nature throws our way. And let's be real, who doesn't want a garden that's as tough as it is tasty? So, are you ready to dig in and start your own veggie time machine? Trust us, your taste buds and your grandparents will be doing a happy dance. Plus, you'll be joining a pretty cool club of folks who are keeping these heirloom varieties alive and thriving. It's like being a vegetable superhero. Cape optional, but definitely recommended.